think the best way to describe Mojang nowadays is pretty lazy.
I do believe that Mojang is indeed lazy.
A bit incompetent.
The Caves and Cliffs update is officially being delayed.
We don't want anyone to work overtime.
And just full of rubbish. You know, I used to love this company, being the driving force for who I am today. But things have changed since then, from lying about features being added to ignoring our voice. It's not the first time I mentioned this, but it is the first time I'm going to show you what I truly think of Mojang. You see this? Finished. Oh, but Mojang's lovely. Please stop doing that. Suck your nan.
You aren't ready for this.
So a couple of weeks back, I uploaded a video centered around Mojang, and like other videos, let's just say I'm pretty good at upsetting people. Now, other than the fact that these people struggle to convey basic English, it made me wonder, is Mojang really that bad? I mean, sure, they're behind the greatest game of all time, but for a company that is memed on for struggling to work more than 30 minutes per day, does it really deserve the praise that it receives? I don't think so. For a company that struggles to implement more than 2 mobs per year, I am completely baffled that this company is worth more than $1 billion. And let's think about it. How is it that mod developers have managed to put more content into the game than what Mojang have done for the past 5 years? And before Geeky Glasses pops down into the comment section to be like, oh, but Mojang have to implement it on 2 versions of the game. Yeah, bro. You want to know how much impact that actually has? It's near zero, especially considering Bedrock Edition seems to have a better functioning marketplace than its actual gameplay. It also doesn't help that Mojang updates the game about once a flipping millennium, and in the time that they do, the updates usually turn out to be the most useless updates known to man. Take the wild updates. Now, if you're not up to spec, essentially this update had a few features, and one of these features included a new wood type. Now, this might sound cool and all until you realize that we already have 10 different types of wood in the game. I mean, even Grind isn't wetting himself, and that guy is built differently. Now, another feature that Mojang involved was a new warden boss. Now, if I were to ask you what purpose does the warden actually serve in Minecraft, what would you answer? Now, if you didn't say the warden was all over your base, you were probably wrong, but that doesn't hide the fact that it is the most useless boss in all of Minecraft. And if you don't believe me, let's use the Wither as a comparison. Now, assuming you kill the Wither boss, the Wither drops a Nether Star upon its downfall, and that Nether Star lets you craft a beacon. Now, assuming you didn't quit your world after getting some stone tools, the beacon can be so unbelievably useful because it can give you permanent effects within a radius, and it's unique, and it doesn't make the game too easy either. Now, let's compare that with killing the warden. What does the warden drop? Oh yeah, it drops a block that can literally all over your world. Like, what is the point of killing this thing? And that's not to say that it will literally bully your existence until you're completely homeless. Now, it's easy to say that, oh, but it's one update. That's until you realize that this mob has literally been delayed 2 years prior to its release. Let's bear in mind that 600 people work at Mojang and are struggling to implement a single boss into the game. Mod developers can literally make this in a day, and they aren't even doing this full time. Which brings me on to the next segment. Mojang is intentionally lazy. Now, if you're not caught up with the drama, I'll give you 2 words to describe it: mob and vote. Previously, Mojang used to add a bunch of mobs to the game. Nice and simple. No complaints whatsoever. But since 2020, Mojang has basically gone in and said, yeah, you lot can decide, I don't know. So why is this lazy? Well, it pretty much allows Mojang to put in about 1/3 of the work that they have previously conducted. Since instead of adding 3 mobs into the game, they are now adding 1. Don't make me flip this around. And don't get me wrong, they don't always add 3 or more mobs to the game, but considering they are struggling to implement even 1 mob into the game, it makes you wonder, especially considering that the mod devs managed to release all 3 of these mobs on the same day that they were announced. You know, you'd think for a multi-billion-dollar company that they would have no problem delivering such little features to the game. Turns out, we're all wrong, and it doesn't help that I can personally prove it. Remember the Fireflies mob? You know, that mob that essentially made everything look 1,000 times better at night. The same mob that everyone flipped their desk over when it was first announced back in 2021. Now, if you don't remember, that's fine, considering most of us play Minecraft about 2 weeks per year. But let's take a look at what happened to that very mob that was said to be added.
Fireflies was originally part of the wild update, but then we got great feedback from you guys, and you taught us a lot of species of fireflies are poisonous to toads and frogs. And of course, fireflies are sadly no longer part of the wild update.
Poisonous. Do Mojang realize what game they are talking about? Does this look like real life? Should I just start water clutching off a building if that's the case? I mean, I might as well, because as Mojang puts it, Minecraft is a very realistic game. Honestly, what the flying sack of nuts is this lady yapping? You know, I have a theory. I think Mojang was so lazy that they couldn't manage to generate 2 pixels on a screen. Just a theory though. I mean, at this point we might as well have asked why Steve and Alex haven't flipped off to each other. Another feature that Mojang decided to remove was the birch forest. And this time, let's just say their reasoning wasn't too slick.
As with the birch forest, that is a little bit different. At Minecraft Live, we did show some concept art with birch forest improvements. However, concept art is not a commitment.
Oh my days. Oh my days. Concept art, concept art, concept art, concept art, concept art. Yeah, look, if it's concept art, it's safe to say that Mojang's probably not going to be adding it anytime soon. I mean, we might as well assume that their audio is just a concept as well, especially considering that Mojang promised us that they were going to add the birch forest into the game. But I mean, whatever excuse is necessary to excuse Mojang for sitting on their bum all day. And that reminds me of an update. Caves and Cliffs. What a shambles. For those unaware, Mojang announced this update back in 2020, and to this day, it has still not been incorporated into the game. Now, some of you goofs might think, well, actually, it was incorporated. No. Take a look at this item. Many of you don't know what this item is, and you don't need to know, because Mojang still haven't implemented it to Minecraft. And yeah, it's said that this item is a little technical to implement on mobile devices, but might I remind everyone that this is a multi-billion-dollar company owned by a multi-trillion-dollar company, and Mojang can't even add one item into the game. It's been 4 years. You know, mod developers would make light work of adding this item into the game. For them, it's just a little snack. For Mojang, it's a couple kilos. And that's not the end of it. That very same update that I mentioned managed to be delayed for 5 months. And you wouldn't believe what Mojang had to say.
The first one is quality, the second one is technical complexity, and the third one is super important, and it's team health.
Team health.
We also want to acknowledge that we all are living in a pandemic.
Oh. The coffee virus. Quite the reputable excuse to use until you realise that Sweden had never locked itself down. That Mojang are just yapping balls once again. Now let's keep in mind that 600 people work at Mojang, right? And are struggling to do what 10 people had done in the office years prior. If that doesn't tell you Mojang's lazy, go figure. Let's bear in mind that Mojang didn't just delay the update, they completely renamed part of it. And they didn't just split it into 2 parts, they didn't even split it into 3. You could even say they didn't even split it into 4, because technically with the bundles item, they've had to split it into 5 different parts. However, I can tell you what Mojang isn't struggling with though, and that is adding the most stupid feature to ever grasp this game. Let's take chat reporting. Why did Mojang add this? Oh, it's to protect the kids. Now let's bear in mind that most Minecraft servers already have their own chat reporting system. I don't know what some of you are thinking. This was a Microsoft move. Now, you're partially correct, but that doesn't stop Mojang from developing this feature and also prioritizing it when no one asked for it. They also just happen to know how to get this feature out faster than any other features they've been developing since 2015. Crazy coincidence. Now luckily, if it wasn't for the mod devs being able to block this feature, quite a few people would have got banned by now. And some might think, well, that's well deserved. But some also fail to consider that this is our game. We bought this game, and we should be allowed to do whatever we want in this game, as Mojang even put it.
No one can tell you what you can or cannot do.
And the fact that someone can now get banned for saying a little swear word on their own Minecraft server is just mind-boggling to me. Minecraft is not just a kid's game. People of all ages play this game, and some may share some dark humor at times, and I'd probably give Mojang quite a good laugh 5 minutes before my Minecraft account is dumped into a bin, because according to the new chat reporting system, my Minecraft account will literally be cremated. Speaking of Minecraft accounts, if you've not migrated to a Microsoft account before the date that I'm showing you on screen, your Minecraft account has just been deleted. So yeah, so much for Mojang telling us that no one can tell us what we can or cannot do. So by this point, if you still support Mojang, just realize that Mojang have literally deleted a paid copy of Minecraft off of millions of people. In other features that Mojang decided to smoke, we have the combat updates, whereby now if you hold right click with a shield, you basically win at everything, even though that essentially renders the sword completely useless on 1.9 PvP. And I was about to forget, wooden axes are now better than diamond swords. Unfortunately, Mojang decided that 20 CPS was no longer considered a skill. In other things Mojang related, Mojang decided that elytras needed to be added to the game, rendering minecarts and ice boating completely useless. And in all fairness, the elytra is good and all, but you can't tell me that this makes survival easier than cancelling a Minecraft YouTuber on Twitter. Diamonds no longer feel special in the game anymore because Mojang decided to enlarge in the caves, which essentially makes diamonds about as easy to spot as seeing a sheep in an empty field. And yet we are left wondering why we can't play Minecraft for more than 2 weeks per year. The game's too easy. Now, in spite of all these changes, something else just doesn't feel right with the game anymore. I mean, if you've ever been playing Minecraft since 2011 and just got back to it recently, you'd feel like you're playing a mod pack because the amount of blocks that Mojang has added into the game is absolutely surreal. Let's take wood for example. You know, when I started playing the game on Pocket Edition, we had 3 different wood types, and if I'm being honest, that felt like that was all we needed. However, now when I launch the game today, I'm notified by the creative menu that we have over 10 wood types in the game now. Now let's be real for a moment. Do Mojang really think we're going to use 10 different wood types in the game? Like, I actually feel like I'm playing a mod pack when I'm scrolling through the creative menu these days. Let's take another block. Deep slate. Mojang added this block to the underground, and what did it do? It just winded me up because now I'm having to mine through Diet Coke obsidian when I'm trying to find diamonds. And I know it makes the game harder, which would mean I have just contradicted myself, but this is not what I mean by making the game harder. Nice block to build with though. But what about structures? Now, if you've ever played an old version of Minecraft, you might wonder, why do structures generate so much nowadays? And the reason for that is because Mojang decided to make villages as accessible as humanly possible. I mean, what's so special about a plains biome anymore when you can find a village in a spruce forest? And that's not to mention, there's more. Remember when Mojang added glazed terracotta into the game? In what way does that add to the progression of Minecraft? What impact does it actually have on the player other than, oh yeah, new block in the game? Not that we already have like 1 billion to begin with. It's like having too many shoes to choose from. You know, you're probably not going to use half of the shoes, never mind all of them. And I'm not even surprised that old Minecraft is now becoming popular because Mojang has completely destroyed my ability to decide what to do next. In the meantime, it might help if Mojang fixes their game, if anything at all. Which brings us on to the next segment. Minecraft is a broken game. Now, don't get me started on the performance of Bedrock Edition. I mean, don't even get me started on Minecraft performance in general. There is a reason that I can't play Minecraft on my nan's computer anymore. But I am completely mind blown how creating a Minecraft world has gone from 5 seconds to the GTA 5 loading screen. I really wish I was joking. Meanwhile, Bedrock Edition is completely struggling to load any textures into the game, full stop. Although that might be a exclusive feature, considering how difficult Bedrock Edition becomes to play after a while.
What's up guys, welcome back to another Shelter Wars video.
Another thing that you probably all noticed is how poorly optimized Minecraft is for older devices. You know, you'd think for a game that is over 10 years old that it would work on a 10-year-old computer. However, it turns out that my nan wasn't too pleased when she saw me load the latest update. To put this into context, I feel like I'm starting to play a slideshow rather than a video game. That's how capable Mojang are when it comes to maintaining Minecraft's performance. I mean, can we even be moderately surprised that we've used optifine or sodium at some point in our Minecraft journey? In other parts of the game's performance, I feel like at some point, if you've ever touched redstone on either versions of the game, you've probably come to a conclusion that redstone is a complete joke on Bedrock Edition, because that's what I found out. I mean, just take a look at this example, and I think you can see where I'm getting at. I'm genuinely puzzled why Mojang decided that redstone had to be different on both versions of the game. I'm even more puzzled as to why Mojang decided that the redstone block had to literally bomb the piston instead of being like 1 block above it, just like how it is on Java Edition. I mean, what is the logic behind this? Like, you don't realize how long it took me to realize that when I started using redstone on Bedrock Edition. What on earth? What's even more baffling is how inconsistent both of the versions are to each other. You know, on one hand, you're able to spam click and hold nearly nothing in your left hand, but on the other side of the game, you have to wait a cooldown before attacking. Like, I don't know how bad the Pocket Edition was to port to Bedrock Edition, but oh my gosh, what a stuff up. And all in all, fundamentally, all these issues had come down to updates. So let's talk about them. Now, if you've ever played the old version of Minecraft or the Legacy Console editions, you may have noticed how awful the colors of the game look now. You know, back in my day, Minecraft looked bright, so welcoming. But what did Mojang do? They just binned it and instead replaced the game with colors that look like they are out of a kid's thumbnail. I mean, by all means, it's hard to notice because you've probably forgotten about it, but believe me, you will know how bad the game looks now when you load up an old world on the 360. Speaking of the 360, if you played on the console editions of the game, you might have noticed What happened to these minigames? You know, I'm actually baffled that Mojang decided to get rid of these minigames, but I think I know why. And that's because they're able to replace it with some of the worst Minecraft servers I think I have ever played on. I mean, you might as well go on Hypixel when you get the chance, because for the record, the amount of bugs on these servers is just too much to even fathom. And the minigames just suck generally, and are just rip-offs of other minigames from Hypixel, which are probably just rip-offs of some other minigame, but like, yeah, we should probably not go into that. I mean, Bedrock Edition servers, they just suck generally. But of course, Mojang and Microsoft didn't do this without an incentive, and that incentive was to make money, because the amount of microtransactions that happens on Bedrock Edition is just absolutely disgusting. Take the marketplace. Now, what is the marketplace, might you ask? Well, I don't think you need an introduction. You just need to ingest your mum's credit card, and boom, bam, ka-ching, there goes your parents' retirement funds. Now, I have to concede a bit here that Microsoft has quite a firm grip on the Bedrock side of the game, but I also have to point out that these DLCs are complete rip-offs of so many community-made features. Ah, you like this texture pack? Unlucky, mate, because someone's plagiarized it behind a paywall. Oh, Godzilla DLC. Yeah, definitely never seen that before. Star Wars DLC. Pretty sure someone's coded that at some point, but whatever, right? And all in all, it's just disappointing that Mojang has become the company that it is today. But anyway, 10,000 likes and I'll drop a diss track on Mojang. Not that I'll get 10k likes from you lot. I barely have 10k subscribers, so a diss track is probably not coming anytime soon. Although you can check out these videos. I'd probably take a dig at Mojang again, or I'm doing something silly, I don't know.